This morning in our series, Life Lessons, How to Silence Self-Doubt and Build Up Your Self-Worth. Jamie Kern Lima is done just that. She is an entrepreneur and philanthropist who founded IT Cosmetics in 2008, then later selling the company to L'Oreal in a deal worth more than $1 billion.
Jamie is also the host of one of the top self-improvement podcasts out there. It's called the Jamie Kern Lima Show, and it's where she's welcomed guests like Oprah. She's welcomed Hoda as well.
She's also a two-time best-selling author. Her newest book is called Worthy: How to Believe You Are Enough and Transform Your Life. Jamie, good morning.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, how lucky for us we get to pick your brain a little bit, because you've been through a lot. We just ran through a lot of your career highlights. You're also a mom of two.
Yes.
But you actually had to overcome this kind of struggle to really assess your self-worth, right?
Yeah, I remember the days as a Denny's waitress, and I had these big dreams, but I would always doubt myself out of them. My self-doubt was always so loud, and I think so many of us have that in common, where, when we ask ourselves, like, wait a minute, what does self-doubt already cost me in my life? And when I would ask myself that question, I'm like, too much. And so I've become obsessed with studying self-worth, and it's been a long road, but I launched a business in my living room called IT Cosmetics. We sold it to L'Oreal for over $1 billion, but the journey wasn't easy. And yes, I learned a lot of skills along the way, but for me, one of the greatest life lessons is, every one of us is fully worthy, and I think, so many of us have to learn how to not doubt ourselves out of our own destiny. So, yeah.
So, CEO, author, now host of a podcast. So, what is this all leading to? Why are you doing all this now?
Yeah, for me, I honestly feel like my calling is to help be of service to anyone who has some self-doubt to destroy and a destiny to fulfill. And it's taken me a long time, actually, Al, to believe I'm fully worthy of stuff. And so, there's Hoda on the Jamie Kern Lima Show. There's Oprah.
I'm Oprah, your first guest.
Oprah's the first guest.
It's like a 3-hour conversation, right?
We did our first ever 3-hour interview. She cried, I cried, and really, the whole show now and what I believe my calling is just, for every person at home who's watching us right now, I think we all see people doing these things, and we think like, oh, well, I want to write a book, or I want to launch a business, or I want to be promoted to co-host of the Today Show. And we can work really hard to get all the skills and the confidence. When we build skills, that builds self-confidence. But that's not enough. We actually have to also build self-worth, which is different. Because in life, in our friendships, in our relationships, in our career, we actually don't become what we want. We become what we believe we're worthy of. And so you, for example, Craig, not to call you out, but just to use a real life example, right? Everyone at home right now, all of us together are so excited for you, cheering you on. So many people have been, watching your incredible skill set for 20 years and then stepping into this role. A lot of times we might have the skill set for something. Someone at home right now might go, gosh, I know I have a story to tell, or I know I'm a great friend and I want to make more friends, or I know I'd be a great partner. But then we deep down inside doubt ourselves out of it because we don't believe we're worthy. So that, for me, is the biggest journey.
Well, let me ask you, I want to dig into some of the life. By the way, if I could blush, I would. The difference, though, between self-confidence and self-worth. What's the difference between the two?
Oh, okay. This is going to be, if everyone at home just takes one thing away right now, this is life-changing, because self-confidence is our skills and abilities, our willingness to try and go for it. Self-worth is our innate belief that we're worthy of love and belonging as we are, and that we're enough. So self-confidence is our skill set. Self-worth is our identity, and they're very different, which is why so many people go, gosh, if I just get that goal, that dream, that white picket fence, that car, then I'll be happy. And they get it, and they still feel like they're not enough because they don't believe internally they are. So building self-worth is the biggest thing.
I would maintain that what you've just said, 80% of people who are watching and listening, they can relate to that. It's just not to, we'll talk offline.
But how do you build that self-worth? If you have the skills and you should feel like you're worthy of something, but where does that come from?
Yeah, so okay. There's so many great tips. We can do 2 million segments on this. In my book, Worthy, there's over 20 tips on how to build it. And on my show, like what we talk about. The very first thing is going, do I want to, right? This is a big thing, is going, do I want to start building self-worth? And I think for everyone at home right now who's joining us, if they've thought like, what does self-doubt already cost me in my life? And the answer is too much, and you're ready to do something about it, that's the biggest step.
Okay.
Step 2 is exactly what we just said, which is like, oh, wow, because most people have been doing all the things to build confidence, and they don't know, why do I still keep, sabotaging relationships? Why did I get that big shot at work, but I somehow just doubted myself? Why do I have that great idea to share, but I didn't raise my hand, right? Because we can have the confidence, but building with self-worth is different. So understanding the two. And then the third, which is really, really big that I'll share today, is when you change your relationship with rejection, you change your entire life. A lot of us assign the meaning to rejection of, oh, I'm not enough. I don't have what it takes. I'm a reject. I'm a failure. When I built It Cosmetics from my living room, we got hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of no's. People saying it's never going to make it. For 3 years, I couldn't afford to pay myself a penny. But every rejection, I would assign a meaning to it, right? And you can do this at home. It's free. And I believe it. I would say, oh, rejection's God's protection. Or, I'm one step closer to the yes. And, I'm a guest shark on Shark Tank this week. And all these entrepreneurs walking through the door, they're going to hear no's, but how we handle rejection changes everything.
You gotta get the book, folks.
I know. It's called Worthy: How to Believe You Are Enough and Transform Your Life. And the podcast is the Jamie Kern Lima Show. Thank you so much.
Hey, thanks for watching. Don't miss the Today Show every weekday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 Pacific on our streaming channel, Today All Day. To watch, head to today.com/allday or click the link right here.